If you're thinking about jumping into owning a photography business, I think one of the most important first steps that you can possibly do is figure out which niche of photography you're getting into. Part of the skill of building a business is not just actually building the business itself, it's saying, hey, in the first place, which business should I be getting into? And so on this video, I'm gonna do my best to give you as unbiased of an opinion as possible as I walk you through how I see it, the differences between real estate photography and wedding photography. Now, as a background, if you're new here, I own a real estate photography business and I've done that for the last 12 years and that company has made millions of dollars and I've not made any money with weddings. But I know a lot of people who have been in wedding photography, whether they're friends or they're people coming from wedding photography over to real estate photography. And so I think this video is gonna give you a pretty good understanding of the differences between wedding photography and real estate photography in a bunch of categories, 7 to be specific, that I think will be really important to you or beneficial to you as you think through your decision. So what I'm gonna do is jump straight into this, and how this is gonna work is I have 7 categories that I'm gonna rate on a scale of 1 through 10, 10 being the best. So the higher the number, the better it is for that specific niche. And I'm gonna score each of those categories for weddings and real estate. And then at the end, there'll be a total score. Now that total score, whichever direction it goes in, doesn't mean that that's the best niche, period. I'm just gonna be scoring it for how I look at it and hopefully giving you some insight so that you can think through this more clearly as you're deciding which way to go. Now, obviously there are a bunch of other niches in photography. These are just like the 2 bigger ones that you see a lot of people build businesses in. You can use this same thing and score yourself other niches. Just try to think about it objectively. So jumping straight in with referral potential. Well, with real estate photography, obviously the referral potential is really high because real estate agents are always doing business with each other. When they go to sell a house, there's a seller's agent and a buyer's agent, and they're communicating. There are agents showing those houses all the time, seeing all those photos, they're talking with each other in offices. And so I'm gonna score the referral potential for real estate a solid 9 out of 10. Now, the reason I'm not gonna do it a 10 out of 10 is because you occasionally have those agents that don't wanna give away their secret of who their photographer is, but those are few and far between. Overall, with the real estate photography business, a lot of your clients long-term are gonna come from referrals. You have to get those first few clients, but if you do a good job for them, a lot of referrals happen. With weddings, there is some referral potential, but it's not as much because not everybody knows someone else right now getting married in their area that could hire that photographer, right? And there's different budgets and all that stuff. So there is some referral potential in weddings, and so I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Okay, moving on to whether the business is repeat business. Well, I think it's kind of apparent that wedding photography scores a 0 in this category. You're never gonna shoot a wedding again for the same person, right? That just doesn't happen. With real estate photography, it's a lot different. Repeat business is like one of the best parts about real estate photography in my opinion. So when you start working with an agent, they're gonna call you every time they get a listing as long as you keep their business. So I'm gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. The reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because they don't have to hire you every day, right? I don't think there's a niche out there that does, but just in the sake of transparency, a lot of agents, they don't always have listings. They're waiting on listings. Now you have enough clients, you'll stay busy consistently, but you still have to wait for them to get a listing. Either way, a solid 8 out of 10. All right, required business. Now there's no legal requirement here. What I'm saying is do your clients feel compelled to hire you? With weddings, I think that is a solid 9 out of 10. The vast majority of people are going to hire a wedding photographer. In real estate, the vast majority of agents will, but it's still somewhere in the range of 7 out of 10 agents will hire a photographer, and depending on your market, 3 out of 10 will do it themselves. So I'm gonna rate this one a 7 out of 10. I think the required business is actually stronger with weddings. All right, so the reason I broke these into 2 different categories is because these are what I call the 3 R's. So if you see my other videos where I talk about that, those are the 3 most important things when it comes to picking a niche. Does it have referral potential, repeat business, and required business? If you have all 3, a lot of niches have 2. If you have all 3, your business is gonna be a lot easier to grow. So rating those and then separate some other things to consider. Next one is scalability. So if your goal is to, when you're first starting, most people are, hey, I wanna shoot, right? I wanna go shoot weddings. I wanna shoot real estate. I wanna get paid to use my camera, and that's awesome, but what about in the future? What about in the future if you wanted to hire a team to do that for you? What about if you wanna still make money while you're not shooting, you wanna grow a business, and I hate the word passive income, I'm not gonna use that word, but what if you wanna have a business that can run without you eventually? My business, Norman & Young, nothing about it has been passive. I've built it up and now it is a business that has a leadership team that runs by itself. So what is this scalability? Well, just looking at the number of scaled wedding businesses versus real estate photography businesses, it's obvious that real estate photography is a lot more scalable. There's less emotion that goes into the shoots. It's not like a big day where you can miss. You know, if they miss important shots, you can't redo it. And a lot of times with wedding photography, they're hiring you for your specific style. Whereas in real estate photography, there's kind of just like one set style in the market. So as far as scalability goes, I'm gonna give real estate photography an 8 out of 10 and wedding photography a 3 out of 10. You simply just don't see a lot of scaled real estate or wedding photography businesses where you do see a decent amount of scaled real estate media businesses. In fact, in like every market that has any kind of size, you usually see at least one business that has some form of a team. All right. Moving on to schedule. And this one, it's kind of dependent on your goals, but here's what I would say. With wedding photography, you're going to be shooting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Your weekends are just going to be used for photo shoots. It's a non-negotiable. Like very few people get married on a Tuesday, right? And so you kind of have to shoot on weekends. But that's good when you're first getting started, right? Because you probably work a job. So like shooting on weekends, yeah, you're gonna work more because that's what's required to start a business, but at least it kind of works around your job. So it's not all bad, but long term, pretty much all of your weekends go to weddings. But with real estate photography, you can kind of do both. So once your company grows and you take this full time, most real estate photographers are shooting during business hours. It's their job, right? They're shooting 9 to 5, or most full-time ones. They don't shoot evenings, they don't shoot weekends. However, when you're first getting started, you can shoot whenever you want. Agents don't so much care when you shoot, so you get a lot of flexibility. You're not stuck shooting weekends, but you're also available to shoot weekends in the start when you're first starting your business if that's what's required. Like you work a 9 to 5, you can't shoot during 9 to 5. So for that reason, I give real estate photography a 7 out of 10 and wedding photography a 3 out of 10. Now, the wedding photography one's apparent, you're stuck shooting weekends. A lot of wedding photographers we work with are like, Eli, honestly, I just want to get into real estate so I can work normal hours. The reason I didn't give real estate photography higher than a 7 out of 10 is because you kind of get stuck shooting every week. Like weddings, they're kind of like potentially few and far between, where real estate photography is more consistent. Now, I like the consistency, but it means that you're probably gonna have shoots every week and when you get busy every day, business days, right? Giving it a 7 out of 10 for that. Moving on, lack of stress. All right, this one's pretty apparent, but I think it does take a long-term toll on you if you're stressed all the time. Weddings are just high stress by their nature. It's a once, hopefully in a lifetime event. There's a lot of pressure on doing it right. There's a lot of emotion tied up. There's a lot of people you're managing. There's all sorts of people that are happy about how things are going and people who think the day's whatever, right? There's a lot of emotion that goes into it. And so I'm gonna give it kind of a low score. I mean, there's a lot of stress. So I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Now it's not surgery, right? No one's dying if you shoot a wedding wrong, but it's still pretty stressful. Real estate, really easy to fix if you mess up because the house is still gonna be there the next day and you can just go back out and shoot it. And so I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. And the reason not higher on real estate is because you gotta work with real estate agents, and sometimes just like anybody, real estate agents can be a pain. They can need things quick, whatever. Still a solid score, 8 out of 10. All right, last one, the investment. And when I say investment, I'm meaning like what it takes to get into this. Generally, with both weddings and real estate, photography businesses are pretty cheap to start. Sure, you need to buy some gear, but you don't have to open a restaurant, lease a warehouse or lease a space for the restaurant, hire a bunch of employees, buy a bunch of food, print menus, there's not a lot of stuff you have to do. So generally they're both pretty low. With weddings, you are gonna have to spend a little bit more on gear. Like you're gonna need a flash, you're gonna need probably a little bit better camera and lens. You're gonna need more lenses. With real estate, it's really simple. You need pretty much any camera made in the last 10 years and a wide angle lens and a tripod to get started. Weddings, you're gonna need more, but it's still not that much. So I'm gonna give weddings a 3 out of 10 on this one, and I'm gonna give, well, it's actually the opposite because it's supposed to be a good score, right? So let me erase that. I'm gonna give weddings on this one an 8 out of 10, and I'm gonna give real estate a 9 out of 10. Like there's very, very little you have to spend for either, but real estate, you just have to spend less to get started. Now the real challenge is to see if I can add this up in my head. But that kind of gives you an idea in each category. And in my opinion, the numbers will show, and probably my opinion biasing this, but I think these are important things that you can run through your own head and say, hey, is that true for me? So 8, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Catch me in the comments if I did the math wrong. So wedding scored a 31 total, 17 plus 7, 24, 32, 39, 47, 9, 8, 7, 6, 56. I think I did that right. You guys will tell me in the comments. I was gonna use my phone, but my phone is recording this. All right, so, I mean, as you can see, like in my opinion, and not just my opinion, what I showed you here, I think that for how I just graded things, real estate photography is the better option. And I think I said this at the start of the video, but One of the most important things you can do when you're getting into business, one of the skills that a lot of people miss, is actually picking the business they want to get into. When I started my business, I started by accident. And the problem with accidents is sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you don't. I think I got lucky because I accidentally started shooting real estate photography. But I think it would have been much smarter if I would have done, anything that I was thinking about doing. I would have run through something like this and been like, okay, what are the options? What of those options fits me best? If you have a ton of money, if you have $2 million sitting around, and it's probably not the best idea to start a real estate photography business, right? There's probably higher leverage things you could do with your money. But if you only have a few $1,000s or less than that, and you're like, I need to start my first business, I wanna make some decent money. I mean, both photography businesses can be a good idea. Photography is a pretty generally easy way to make money. It's a service business, it's simple. And so if I would have had a framework like this, it would have still led me into real estate photography. I just would have thought of it better. So what I want you to do here is whatever niches you are thinking about right now. Maybe it's not real estate or weddings, maybe you just stumbled upon this video, but either way, maybe it's real estate versus product photography, or maybe it's headshots versus weddings. I want you to use a similar structure to rate them from your opinion, and try to not insert too much opinion when it's gonna hurt you, but think through this logically so that you can make a good decision about which business to start. And if you decide, my mic cord's coming out here, if you decide real estate photography is right for you, what I want you to do is go in the comments below this video or in the description. There'll be a link for a workshop that will dive more into depth about what real estate photography looks like, how to start your business, how to get your first few clients, and different things like that. It's a completely free video. And if you're ready to take the next step, we'd love to work with you in coaching. There's a link to talk with my team. I have a bunch of great people on my team that are standing by to talk to you about what this could look like for you, develop a custom game plan for you. So check out all the goodies below. There's some other stuff as well, and I'll see you in the next video.